Welcome back to Briggs on Books. You'll never guess who we have on the show next. The author of Fright House, that horror novel, and Fred Wiehe. But not only this novel, he's written a whole bunch of books. And by the way, he's going to be at the Sacramento Halloween Con, I think you call it, and soon. Welcome our guest, Fred Wiehe. Welcome, Fred.
Thank you, Mike. Great to be here.
Did I get any of that right? We rehearsed it a little bit. Halloween Con, when and where is that?
It's the Sinister Halloween Con at the Scottish Rite Center in Sacramento this Saturday and Sunday.
What's those dates? Do you know?
The 19th and the 20th.
19th and 20th of October, 2024.
Yep. Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, and by the way, Fred will be there signing books. He'll sit on a panel. So if you're a Fred Wiehe fan, this is your chance. Fred?
It's a fun time, too. Lots of cosplayers.
Yeah,
lots of big celebrities. Jeffrey Combs is going to be there. He was in The Frighteners. Do you remember?
Yeah. Heck with him. Fred Wiehe's going to be there signing books. Now, here's your first novel, Fred. You said this started out as a screenplay. Tell us a little bit of how it came about.
Well, I was at another con, Silicon here in San Jose, a number of years ago. And I met a independent producer and director. His name's Dave Rita. I was sitting on some panels selling books, and he came up to me and said, "Why aren't you working for me?" And I said, "I don't know. Why aren't I?" We got together and kind of started throwing around ideas, and I came up with this screenplay, Fright House. Wrote it. It actually got optioned by a production company and sat in pre-production hell for a couple of years. And I finally called Dave up and said, "Look, Dave, we need to start pushing this. Would you mind if I did a novelization of the screenplay?" And he goes, "No, go for it, man." So that's where Fright House came from.
And the rest is history. How many books do you have out there, Fred?
Oh, Mike, I've lost count. I think something around 12 or 13.
Now, I think of you as
I'm working on 2 more now.
I think of you as a horror author, but you're broader than that, right?
I'm a member of the Horror Writers Association, so I always think of myself as a horror writer first. But my stuff kind of crosses over genres into science fiction, urban fantasy, mystery, crime thriller.
Yeah. Covers many genres. Now, the series, I don't know if this is a new series, the Blood series, is that what you call it?
Bloodshot, yeah. That one came out over 2022, 2023, 3 books. It's a science fiction horror series. Has to do with multiverses. Basically, it's this world-renowned physicist who creates this device that allows him to go from parallel universe to parallel universe. And what motivated him was he murdered his girlfriend in his universe because he felt that she had betrayed him, both professionally and romantically. And he got such a thrill out of it that he decided he was going to travel from universe to universe, killing her time and time again.
My goodness. And by the way, we have Bloodthirsty.
Book 1, yeah.
Yeah, Bloodlust, and here's the third cover, Bloodbath, I guess.
Right.
So the blood.
Lots of blood for your money.
A lot of blood for your money, yeah. Now, I don't know, I'm going to pop up a couple more of your covers here. Alaric Monster Hunt?
Yeah, Alaric Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
That was actually my first bestseller.
Oh, nice.
Came out in 2012. It's had a couple of publishers now. Came out in hardcover originally with a publisher called Gauthier. They went out of business at some point, and the rights reverted back to me, and I brought it back out with Black Bedsheet Books.
Now, this next one is kind of creepy but timely. Holiday Madness.
Holiday Madness, yeah. 13 Dark Tales for Halloween, Christmas, and all occasions.
Nice.
That one has an interesting story, too. I used to do interviews on the radio for a public radio station here in the area called KKUP. Whenever Halloween or Christmas came around, or if they had um, one of those drive shows where they're trying to get donations for the
Yeah.
year so they can stay in business because they're public radio, they would have me come on and I would write an original short story
Huh.
and read it on the air and take pledges. And I'd give books away and stuff for pledges and things like that. So those stories are the stories I wrote for KKUP over a number of years that I read on the radio.
Wow. Years in the making. What a great
Yeah.
story, yeah. And I don't know, I think I have one more here. The Collected Nightmares.
Yeah, the Collected Nightmares. That's an interesting story too. That one came about back in 2013. I was in a horseback riding accident, a near-death experience. I got on this horse that was not mine. I own a couple horses, and I'm an avid rider. And these people asked me to ride their horse. They were having trouble with it. And I got on this horse. My wife said that the second my butt hit the saddle, it was like a horse coming out of a rodeo chute, a bucking bronco. It bucked me 3 times before it finally bucked me off, I'm proud to say. But it threw me 8 feet in the air. I came down on my back and my head, missing the round pen fence by just inches. If I would have hit that, I probably would have died. Multiple injuries, 8 broken ribs, broken wrist, punctured lung, concussion, some amnesia. I don't remember a lot of it.
Oh boy, yeah.
Anyway, it was a long recovery process. It took like 2.5 years to recover from this accident. And during that time, I wrote The Collected Nightmares. So that one is very dark because I was in a dark, painful place.
Wow.
So some of those stories are darker than some of my other ones, but it has a lot of recovery and things in it
That's
that are life-changing.
Yeah, I love unusual book stories, like you wrote them one a year for a radio station, or you wrote it while you're recovering, and amazing. Now, let me ask you about your process. We've got a lot of viewers, that they're writing their first book. There's literally millions of people out there writing their first book, and they can't quite get to the end. And here you are popping them out every couple of years. How do you write? Do you sit down at a keyboard and just start writing, or do you create the book in your head and then start committing it to paper?
Normally, I'll start with an idea. For me, the writing process begins before I write. It's in my head. I'm visualizing the story like a movie, running in my head different scenes from beginning to end, over and over and over again, until finally I've got the whole thing like a movie from the beginning to the end in my head, and then I'll sit down and start writing it. Now, that's not to say that I can't be flexible when I'm writing, that things don't change from the movie that I originally started with. But I have a really pretty good idea of how I want to start and where I want to go. That's my normal process. I have done some stories and even a novel. In fact, book 3 of Bloodbath, even though I knew when I went from book 2 to book 3 kind of where it was going to go, I pretty much just sat down and started writing one sentence at a time, and it formed to the end. But I've only done that a couple of times. Normally, I'll have a really clear understanding of the plot, the characters, who they are, who they were before the story started.
Nice.
Their background is really important, even though probably only 10% of really what I create for a character's background gets into the story itself. I still have a really good idea of who they were before the starting point of the story. Everybody is somebody that makes them who they are, and they have to be a certain person before that story moves forward. So I have a good idea of who my characters are, where's my plot going, and from beginning to end, for the most part.
What?
Again, I'll say that you have to be flexible because
Yeah.
sometimes the characters take you in a different direction than you planned, and you got to go with it.
Are you real disciplined? You sit down every day at 6 a.m. and start writing, or
Not at 6 a.m., Mike. No. I'm not an early bird. I do my best writing probably late afternoon, early evening, or into the evening.
nice. By the way, Fred, we have your web address on the screen, fredwiehe.com. What would our viewers find there?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that
What,
question.
what would our viewers find there if they go to fredwiehe.com?
They're going to find all of my books and pages that for each book that has the synopsis for the book,
Nice.
what the book is about, and all the links that you can where you can buy the book online.
Yeah.
Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Smash Mouth, wherever it's available. You can just click the link and it'll take you right to the order page.
Nice. Yeah. So if you want to get these books, just go to fredwiehe.com and start clicking around. You'll find them.
Yeah,
Fred-
it's pretty easy. I tried to make the website as simple as possible and easy to navigate.
Nice.
It's really an easy navigation there.
Very good. Fred, we're way past time. I could talk to you all day. This is great, Fred. Any last thoughts for our viewers about the books or anything in the world you want to talk about?
Well, I'll say that if you haven't read anything by me, maybe start with Fright House. It is my most popular book. I get a lot of feedback on that one.
Good.
A lot of great reviews. Takes place in an insane asylum turned Halloween attraction. There's ghost hunters. It's kind of The Shining meets Ghost Hunters.
Nice.
And then the last thing is, remember, if you're in the Sacramento area or in California and can get to Sacramento, I will be at Sinister Halloween Con this weekend, October 19th and 20th, selling books, autographing them, and doing a panel with some other authors.
Yeah.
It's a great time, great con. It's very busy, lots of cosplayers, lots of celebrities, and a lot of other authors as well.
Yeah. This interview might be running for months or years. So if it's not, what's the date? October what?
Oh, October 19th and October 20th, 2024.
So if it's after those dates, you
I'll
missed
even throw
it.
the year in there.
But
Mike.
come next year. Come the next year. So thank you so much,
Yeah,
Fred.
they have it every year.
Yeah, that is great. I want you to come back again and again. We could talk. I could talk to you for hours, Fred.
Oh, I'd love to.
All right.
Had a great time.
In the meantime, go to fredwiehe.com and stick around. We have another author coming up right after this.
Okay. Oh, the last thing I'll just say, you probably have it on the screen, but my last name is Wiehe.
Wiehe.
Most people get it wrong.
Yeah, I bet they do. All right. Fred Wiehe will be back with another author right after this.
Thank you, Mike.